Her name was Lillian Ashford, and the house learned it before she finished crossing the threshold, not by sound, but by weight, by the way her breath displaced the air, by the way her shadow lingered a fraction too long against the wall, as if unsure whether it should follow her inside. The house accepted her name and settled, wood tightening, foundation relaxing, like a jaw finally unclenched. The staircase revealed itself at dusk. It did not appear all at once. It crept into awareness the way rot announces itself, through sweetness. A narrow door, where a pantry should have been, a seam in the wall that breathed when she passed. When Lillian opened it, the house exhaled downward. The air that rose from below was warm and damp and intimate, carrying the copper tang of decay mixed with something older, thicker, remembered. The steps slanted sharply into a darkness so dense it seemed poured rather than formed, layered and aged, not empty and not patient, but full in a way that suggested digestion. She stood too long, the dark pressed back. She closed the door and told herself that old houses collect mistakes, that builders forget, that blueprints lie, but lies do not pulse, lies do not breathe against your skin. That night, the house adjusted its rhythm. The walls drew closer. The ceiling leaned downward by degrees too small to measure but impossible to ignore. The silence thickened until it rang, and beneath it came movement. Not footsteps. Intention. A slow, dragging sound, wet and reverent, as if something below were learning the staircase by touch, alone, memorizing each step through skin. It climbed 1 inch at a time and stopped just short of the door. The house hummed softly, content. On the second night, the humming learned her heartbeat. It matched it, then gently corrected it. She dreamed of staircases growing inside her body, vertebrae separating into steps, ribs curving inward to form railings. She dreamed of bending backward and feeling relief instead of pain. When she woke, her bedroom door was open and the hallway smelled faintly of damp earth and old breath. On the fourth night, the laughter began. It was not loud. It was folded inward, ashamed of itself, warm and wet, like breath trapped behind teeth. It slid through the vents and soaked into the carpet and bloomed behind her eyes. She covered her ears and felt it continue inside her skull, as if it had always lived there and was only now stretching awake. She stopped turning on lights. They offended the dark. They made it restless. They reminded it of being seen. The staircase door began to swell. The wood bowed outward, subtly, as if something leaned against it from the other side for warmth. Handprints appeared beneath the varnish, not pressed into it, but grown there, like veins beneath skin. They shifted when she wasn't looking. They multiplied. She began to feel watched, not from corners or shadows, but from inside herself, as if something beneath the house had learned how to look through her eyes. Sleep abandoned her. The house compensated. It showed her things while she was awake. Shadows bent where they should not. Light thinned and stretched like skin pulled too tight. She caught her reflection in dark windows and saw her spine arch the wrong way for half a second, before snapping back into place. She felt pressure along her joints, as if invisible hands were testing where she might fold. On the seventh night, the house spoke without words. The hallway elongated, the corners softened, the air thickened until movement felt like wading through something alive. Lillian stood before the door, knowing she would open it because the house had already decided. Her hand touched the knob. It was warm. It pulsed like a second heart. The door opened by itself. The thing on the stairs was not climbing. It was unfolding. Its limbs bent backward with ceremonial precision, joints clicking softly like prayer beads sliding through fingers. Its spine arched the wrong way, beautifully, as if designed for devotion. Its head hung upside down, neck twisted with care, and its mouth opened wider than any mouth should, stretching into a dark, wet smile that pulled the air toward it. Teeth gleamed inside, too many layered like memories that refused burial. Its eyes sat deep within the skull, not watching, but remembering her from before, from below, from the moment the ground first learned how to open. You sleep above, it whispered, and its voice came from the walls, the floor, the space between breaths. You walk where the ceiling protects you. The laughter returned, closer now, echoing inside the staircase like something delighted to be recognized. The house leaned inward, encouraging. Lillian ran, the hallway lengthened like a lie told slowly. Doors receded, the floor softened beneath her feet. The house folded space inward with patient cruelty. The stairs reached for her, with hands that already knew her, fingers slipping round her ankle with intimate familiarity, thumb pressing into a place that made her knees buckle. She screamed, and the house drank the sound, absorbing it into wood and wire and bone. As she was pulled backward, the staircase widened, revealing not steps, but anatomy. Wood became ribs, darkness became throat. The walls curved inward, wet and welcoming, lined with splinters that flexed like teeth. The thing wrapped itself around her gently, almost tenderly, teaching her how to bend without breaking, how to open wider, how to listen from below. It showed her how the house remembers everyone who ever stood above it, how it keeps them, how it rearranges them. The pain never came. That was the lesson. The horror was learning. The horror was becoming useful. When morning arrived, the house was quiet. The staircase was gone. In its place stood a plain wall, unmarked and unquestioned. The listing was correct again. Single level, historic, quaint. Lillian Ashford was reported missing. There were no signs of struggle, no broken doors, no blood, just a faint warmth beneath the floorboards that never fully faded. But if you remain in that house long enough, if you listen when the floors hum and the walls grow warm, you will hear movement beneath you, not climbing, not descending, arranging itself, and sometimes, very softly, just before sleep takes you, you will hear a woman laughing inside the walls, learning your name before you ever speak it.